So hopefully that looked pretty cool because I'm currently at square one. All I have right now is a whole bunch of awesome computer parts and 18 pounds of amethyst crystals. Yep, as you may have seen, I wasn't just gonna have colored light representing the inside of a geode. I want it to really feel like you're looking inside of an actual geode that happens to have some wicked looking computer parts. And in order to make it look like that, I must build. So without further ado, let's get to it. HP's new Omen X lineup comes equipped with Intel's 7th generation Core i7 processor. Check it out in the link in the video description. Hey yo homie G, we building the computer, see? First things first, I should probably see if this stuff is even gonna function. I've had some of these things for a while now, and they've just been kind of sitting here, and I don't even know if they work. Whoa. So right off the bat, I need to actually test all the stuff. I've been sourcing the things for this computer for the greater part of 2016, and now it's 2017. So I haven't taken some of these things out of their boxes in so long that they have dust on them. The first thing I'm going to install into my Strix X99 gaming motherboard is an i7-6900K, which is going to be fantastic because I've been struggling on my Twitch stream for a long time now with an i7-2600K and Windows 10, which don't really go very well together. I can barely stream Rocket League. Bring it, bitch. One of the nice things about this motherboard too isn't just that it's a really great looking motherboard and it's gonna be a solid motherboard, is this RGB header down at the bottom right here. Not the easiest thing to see ever, but I can plug in my cable mod RGB cables into that and sync all of the lighting in my system, which is gonna be rather awesome considering the importance of lighting in this build. Now I'm gonna install some RAM, some Clev memory. I really like this Clev Crass stuff. I don't see very many people use it, but I just think it looks awesome. One thing that was pretty important when I was picking all these computer parts was that they looked nice, but rather minimalistic, because I didn't want the computer parts to visibly take away from the amethyst crystals. I wanted them to accent it. So white lighting or having lighting in general was rather important, and then the rest of it, I basically just wanted it to be black. I'm hoping I checked for compatibility with the cooler. I did this so long ago that I don't remember, but that's some tall memory, and this is a big cooler. Man, this looks amazing already. Have you ever wanted to stop a build partway through and just be like, it can stay like this? Now let's see if this cooler's even gonna fit. How am I supposed to open this? I can't get it. Open, I don't want to break it. So that's what they want it to look like. And in that configuration, it would definitely not fit. Oh man, okay. Okay, hopefully my idea for how this should go will make it fit. Let's see. Come off, fan. Oh my God. Maybe not. The mounting is in a weird spot. I think if this was in the middle, it would actually fit. To the point where I might need to take off this entire black section in order to make it fit. For those wondering why I would use an air cooler and not just go water cooling, the rig is called Geodude. Geodude is a rock and ground type in Pokemon, both of which are weak to water at the same time. I can't put water in this build. That wouldn't make any sense at all. He would take more than just double damage from that. It would be 4x the original damage of the water attack. There is no way that I would risk Geodude. I will make this work. So I'm modifying the cooler to try to make the one side shorter, as you can hopefully see right there. And hopefully that'll get over the RAM. I do know right now that these heat pipes also go too far out. Okay, so I think it's actually going to work. We've bent the heat pipes back. There's dents in the heat pipes from where I was pushing, but I don't think we actually ruptured anything. I was able to make the one side taller than the other. Yeah, it gets over the RAM and it doesn't really push the RAM over at all. So now all I need to do is try to get this guy to go back on here somewhat like that, so that you can't tell that I screwed up. So it's like actually gonna size up pretty well. I wonder if I can get the fan back in. Oh, I did not think that would work at all. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this is going on right now. I've almost got the cooler on. Bringing it lower by itself. I'm an idiot. I didn't put thermal paste on. That wasn't even planned or scripted. We just started filming. Damn it, I've spent so long trying to screw this. There you go. So it worked. Everything's on. I actually put freaking thermal paste on it this time. It looks sort of horrible from this angle. You can totally tell that it's wonked out. But when you'll actually be looking at it in the case, it looks fine. Now, like 2 hours later, we're finally continuing on with trying to see if any of the components even work. Great. Wonderful. So all of the RAM is installed, the CPU is installed, the cooler is installed. Now, I just need to get a GPU on here, plug things into the power supply, and make sure that we can actually post. Ooh. Oh. All right, so power supply switch on time. Where is the power switch? Here it is. CPU cooler fan spinning, graphics card fan spinning, and then they turned off because they're supposed to do that. Power supply fan did the same thing. I've got a monitor back here, which is not responding. Oh, hey! Okay, everything does seem to be working. Moving on. Hell yeah. Now to put it in the case. There we go. It's upside down. All right. Oh, I'm excited to work with you again. Okay, so I/O tray. I remember that. I gotta do that right now. Okay, so I'm swapping out the default ASUS Strix logos. I never checked the manual on how to do this, so hopefully just tearing them off was the approved method of removing them. And I'm going to put on black and silver ones that came in the box because this goes really well with my whole theme. God damn, I can just never touch that again. All right, into the computer we go. Let me see what this looks like. Oh my God, even without all the drives and all the amethyst crystals, this thing already has some weight to it. Oh geez, this is gonna be one hell of a build. So I got rid of the boring power supply cables and got this plain brown box. Anyways, cable mod stuff. Hopefully this doesn't spill everywhere. Oh my goodness, okay, so I got a whole bunch of cable combs, which will come in use later for organizing cables mainly that are behind the motherboard tray. And I got a bunch of lighting strips. The cables that I went with, I actually collaborated with the forum mod team on their design, are purple, silver, black, and white in different variations depending on which cable you have. And then the SATA cables are just purple. It's a pretty bright compared to the rest of the build, but I did want them to stand out a little bit because they look beautiful. So yeah, I'm gonna do like 2 more cable runs just for the graphics cards, but everyone else needs to go for the day. So, time-lapse mode, engage. So I had a rough night. We had a lot of issues. I spent like 6 freaking hours cable managing this thing, and it's not as good as it was, but I'm kind of done with that now, so this is where we're gonna be. The power supply was not things were bad. It was showing LEDs on the motherboard, but I couldn't actually turn the system on, and it was troublesome to figure out how. I ended up swapping out the power supply, trying a different one, eating some pizza and working through it. Figured out that it was the graphics card cables. I think they just weren't seated well enough into the power supply itself. I must have tugged on them or something, I'm not entirely sure. But we are up and operational now, so it is time to add the 18 pounds of amethyst crystals. The whole interesting part of this entire build is finally starting. And I've got to wash some stones. Now that they're all in the bath, it's time to get rid of the caked on dust and grime existing on basically all of them, from lingering impurities and the grinding against each other that happened in shipping and storage for so long. I'm gonna use some scrubbing tools to get rid of what I can and hope that what I can't fix just won't show. Now that that's done, I'm gonna rinse them all off with distilled water just to ensure that they're, at the very least, clean before trying to secure them all. I don't actually want to tumble them. Tumbling them would make the surfaces smooth, and I want them to be kind of jagged. This is just me trying some shit. Okay, so all the rocks are clean. I've laid them out in somewhat of a size order. So I've got really small, almost pebble size amethysts over here, and then they get really big over here. You can make jokes about how I'm feeling the positive energy of all the crystals because this looks freaking awesome. This section right near the power supply here that hugs all the way up the side, I love that bit. And then the top area here is more just a proof of concept. It definitely needs some work. There's too much gap between some of them, and it's too easy to see the individual LEDs. But if I can get the whole area looking like this, that's what I'm going for. I got a lot of work ahead of me, so let's go. That's the glass fully on. Very nice. So I'm really sad. Hopefully you guys just watched a really cool time lapse of me putting in a huge amount of amethyst stones, and then I did a whole bunch more work after the camera died and finished up with what we've got right now. As you can tell though, it's off and the CPU's out of the socket and I have some other weird RAM in there. The entire right-hand side of memory doesn't work. This whole bank of memory, all 4 sticks, none of it works. It all detects in the BIOS as NA, not applicable, no RAM there. And if they're plugged in at all, it is unstable. Doesn't matter what RAM I use. I swapped out the CPUs. So this is a 6900K, this is a 6950X. I tried both of them. Oh, forget about that, please. That never happened. No, stop. Don't look at it. Anyways, tried both of those, doesn't work. It's the motherboard. The motherboard is the issue. We have another X99 Strix in the office. I can swap it out, we can RMA this one, everything's fine, except I just spent all of those hours gluing it in place. So the plan now is to try to do a motherboard rescue. I have to get it out of there. The top part won't be all that difficult to get out, but the lower section is going to be a lot of work. I have to get both the graphics cards out of there in order to get the motherboard out. So in the end, I had to take out all of the amethysts right up here and most of them coming along this way, but then was able to get away with leaving this big one, which is good, and a couple other little ones as well. But it might be a different story trying to get those graphics cards back inside. Now it's time to put the motherboard in, which I've already prepped with the NVMe drive, my 6900K, and the mounting screws for my radiator. And I've swapped out the colors of the custom Strix logos. So yeah, time to go. Let's get the drives plugged in. Okay, so the motherboard is back in. Now I have to try to get those GPUs back in. The bottom GPU I'm a little bit worried about. So, oh, I think I got it. Oh, right as I was saying that, it popped right in. Oh, that is good. Okay. All right, that went far better than expected. That wasn't too bad. It works, it actually works. All 64 gigs fully detects and the SLI works. I can verify it on this screen right over here. Everything is fine. All I need to do now is put the amethysts back that I took out, put the glass panels on, do some performance testing, and we're good. So putting all those amethysts back worked fine. It wasn't too hard. I kind of got used to it at that point. It looks great, but we'll look at glam footage of it in a moment. For now, benchmarking. Benchmarking for this was a little bit unique because what I really cared about was how much better it would stream video games. So I had to benchmark things while streaming using XSplit up to Twitch. Games acted a little bit oddly, but there was pretty huge improvement. In something like Metro Last Light, I went from seeing an average of 74 frames per second to an average of 120. That's fantastic by itself. Something like Tomb Raider, I went from 65 FPS to still 65 FPS. If I turned off XSplit and didn't stream, I did get 77 FPS, but still. But looking at minimums on the geothermal map, I went from 4.45 FPS to 28, which is pretty substantial. Hitman DirectX 11, I went from an average of 19 to an average of 50. That's a pretty major improvement. Deus Ex Mankind, I went from an average of 30 with a minimum of 21 and a maximum of 39 to an average of 56, a minimum of 40 and a maximum of 91. But all of those performance improvements aside, the main thing that I like about this computer is what it looks like. So we can stop looking at me. And by the way, I have a huge amount of hair right now and my beard is ridiculous because when we first started filming this, I decided that I wouldn't get a haircut and I wouldn't shave until we were done because I knew it was gonna take forever and I'm disgusting. So after this video, I'm gonna go take care of this. That'll be a good thing. FreshBooks is the simple way to be more productive, organized, and get paid quickly while creating and sending professional-looking invoices in less than 30 seconds. You can even set up online payments with just a couple clicks and get paid up to 4 days faster. You can see when your client has seen an invoice and put an end to the guessing games of when you're gonna get paid. For your unrestricted 30-day free trial, just go to freshbooks.com/techtips and enter Linus Tech Tips in the How Did You Hear About Us section. But anyways, look at glam footage of my computer. And yeah, while you're looking at glam footage of my computer, I guess, if you check out the link down below, there's links to Amazon where you can buy some stuff that you saw in this video. There's a place where you can buy some shirts. There's the like and dislike button, so you can press the one that says like on it. You can get subscribed because this video was so freaking cool. And no, I'm not gonna link another video. Actually, no, I'm lying. There will be another video up there eventually. Maybe now, and then we can just keep the glam footage going afterwards, but it'll be the Fallout bomb build that I did, which was another epic video. I'll see you guys next time.